Hey guys, came for 15, back at it with another video for you guys, and I am back talking more Flagrant Flower Blooms of Dignity content, as I know I missed the last episode, and it never again will I miss it. Now, the reason why I missed it was I was out of town, for the just going out to help my sister move into college. And then I took a quick detour over to Chicago to stop by, say hi to some family, and enjoy some of the stuff with with the city of Chicago. And now I'm back. So yes, and again, I'm doing a bunch of catch-up reviews and stuff like that in terms of how things are going. But I just wanted to take a break. It was a good break, so yeah. But regardless, Flagrant Flower Blooms Dignity, I definitely did enjoy the episodes that we recently got. Now, personally, I like this episode more than the last episode. Not to say that the last episode was bad. It's just, I'm sorry, man. I need more Kaoruko and Rintaro content. And we were kind of in episode 7, we were kind of there wasn't much of it. It was just kind of like, you know, that. So episode 7 is kind of the resolution to um Rintaro making up with his friends and everything, and his friends essentially understanding and realizing and accepting the fact that, you know, they are his that obviously he has two new friends in Subaru and Kaoruko, and especially the fact like they know, like, okay, clearly these girls are something mean something to him. On top of it, they do find out, like, know how much Rintaro, you know, how much Rintaro values them as friends, and how much he wants to stop doing the whole, yeah, I'm gonna kind of be on my own thing, not telling them what's going on, because he ends up saying in this episode, because he wants to meet, um jeez, my dog just jumped down there. He wants to meet, he wants Wagari and Subaru to meet his friends and say, like, hey, to make things just better and easier, why not we just all meet together and get introduced, and maybe, we can all be friends, because I would like my friends to meet you guys, because I think you guys are really good. And Karuko's obviously okay with this, right? Um, and Subaru, at first, she was reluctant, but she's like, okay, it's fine. And the thing is, you have to a Rintaro, he does say, like, look, I apologize for forcing this on you. I mean, he especially apologizes to Subaru too. Like, I know you have, these things about the feelings about people from our school, but they're really nice guys, and it's just, I have to stop hiding this from them, because they really mean a lot to me and they're my friends, and I don't want to make, our ice, have this, our friendship be thrown into disarray because of it. Now, throughout that part of the episode, in episode 7, um, his friends were actually following him, and they actually overheard the really great things he said about him. And again, it just goes to show you that Rintaro is a really good friend, and he actually does care about his friends. And he's like, no, I value them. I don't want to have this weirdness be between us, because of me meeting you guys and talking with you guys has created a rift in our friendship. So the fact, like, they've gotten over that, it's just great. It's just great. And then you have a moment where they're walking home and they get ganged up by basically this, like, gang, right? And the two dudes we saw in the very first episode that were pressing Karuko, they showed up, and because Rintaro basically kind of scared them off, they ended up becoming, like, basically fucking bitches and tattletales. And they told, like, I guess their boss, like, hey, there's this guy named Rintaro, bro. He did this and everything. And I loved it where Rintaro, he was willing to, like, you know probably take the punishment, and he's like, hey, you girls get out of here. This is something I have to deal with. But they had them cornered, and it was like, oh, I'm like, oh, we're about to see this dude get beat up. They're gonna probably try to take Wagari and Subaru away. God knows what they would do to them, because it's gang members, right? Um, but then you obviously, because Rintaro's friends were following them the entire time and they overheard this, basically Rintaro's friends jump in, they kick these dudes out. So we don't see the fight break out, but it's basically implied like they kicked their asses. One of the friends just went absolutely off, right, on them, and because of it, it scared those dudes away to the point like I'm guessing they'll never bother them again. So yeah, but that was really great. But essentially they resolved their differences at the end of the episode. And the one friend, I think his name is Natsusawa. He and Rintaro, they end their beef right then and there. So, that's kind of it. Which leads and then obviously they have the sports day thing, which leads into the next episode. So episode 8, which was this past Saturday's episode, essentially that's when Rintaro basically, formally introduces everyone to each other. So Wagari and Karako and Subaru, they end up meeting uh Rentaro's friends. Rentaro's friends introduce themselves, and then that's when Subaru, she apologized. She's like, "Hey, I apologize for treating you guys so harshly. It was completely uncalled for. I should have not done that." But then even his friends, they apologize. Rentaro's friends apologize. They're like, "Hey, we're sorry for judging you." And in a way, Subaru sees this as a new light in them, and then they basically say like, we hope to all be friends and everything. So it's good to see like this friend group is, putting aside the differences of the school, and essentially they're like, no, let's restart all over again. Let's be good friends, and let's just, be acquaintances that know each other and hopefully be friends. And, friends for a long time, right? Obviously they got to keep their friendship a secret from the schools, is because like obviously out in public, if a teacher of one of the schools saw them hanging out with another of the schools, well then like there obviously some tension's gonna happen, which again, I still have a feeling that's gonna eventually happen at some point, but it's morely gonna happen in the phase of Karako and Rentaro happening, when either a Kikyo, more than likely a Kikyo teacher, is going to find out like, what are you doing with that boy from Cheatery High? Like, what's going on there? So, I eventually think that point in this series is going to happen, because you got to create at least some drama. Like, again, like I said, things are, as much as, again, I love these happy-go-lucky moments. Like, at this point right now, because we get a date episode here, right? It isn't an official date, where they both characters and Rentaro and Karako say like, "Hey, we're going on a date." No, they kind of do the hangout, like, "Let's go hang out for the aquarium." Or Rentaro was doing this as a thank you to Karako for basically helping him with his studies, right? So right now we're kind of waiting for that moment to when they're gonna finally confess to each other and say like, "Hey, whether it's Karako or Rentaro, where he says like he really likes her." And he likes her more than just a friend. He like is in love with her, right? And then eventually we'll get that moment where maybe we'll get more nice moments where obviously we have our main relationship set up. And I don't know if they're gonna tease Subaru having a relationship with one of the boys in the group. It seems like the more than the likely candidate could be Natsusawa, potentially being Subaru's potential love interest there, and maybe they throw in a third and fourth girl to this group, from Kikyo, to essentially pair at least the other two boys up with somebody, right? But we'll I guess we'll have to see at some point, but I feel like that could be the case while your main relationship is between Rintaro and Karako, right? So that's kind of the whole thing. Hold on a second, guys. Sorry for that. I had to take my dog outside, but yeah, at some point we're gonna get tension in this story, because typically these romance animes, they typically get at least one moment where in the series where you're going to get that tension, where there's gonna be, an issue in the relationship that's happening. And to me, I don't think it's going to be an issue where Karako and Rintaro will have a disagreement and have differences of opinions to where it affects the relationship. It's going to be obviously be something to do with the schools and everything, right? Because I think for this entire series as a whole, they're going to have no disagreements, over anything. I don't think they're going to be the type of characters that would fight each other, right? Because they're the type of characters that truly care about each other, right? And they're the type of personalities where no, I could not see them getting mad at each other. Like I can only see them getting mad at each other in a playful manner, right? So that's kind of the thing, or like, a jokingly manner, like Rentaro maybe say something and Karako gives that the puffy cheeked up face like she always does, right? So that's the thing. But it was cool to see and everything. So they're basically all walking back home, and essentially, I'm guessing the friends are just being like they're gonna be like the playboy or are being good wingmen, right? And they're like, "Hey, Subaru, we would like to talk to you about something," right? Which gives Karako and Rintaro some alone time together because I think at this point clearly it's very much clear that I think Rintaro's friends definitely know like, okay, Rintaro likes Wagari. He likes Karako. So they give him some nice alone time, and that's kind of when Rintaro's like, "Hey, I wanted to do something for you to say as a way to say thank you for helping me out on my studies for the sports day stuff." So he basically is like, "Hey, is there anywhere I can take you potentially or do something nice for you?" So essentially, they end up going to the aquarium, right? You get an aquarium date, which was just great. The visuals were great and everything. They're looking at all the all the tanks with all the fishes and everything, and they both mentioned like it's been a very long time since they both individually ever went to an aquarium, so this is the first time in a while, right? But it was also cool leading up to it, right? Rentaro, he doesn't know how to feel, like he's freaking out. He's like, what should I do? Like, am I dressed good? What the heck? Because he sees a couple, right? And they're going on a date, and he's like, wait, would this be considered a date? And he's like, no, no, no. So he walks out, and then eventually a few seconds later, actually, Karako was out, and she's all dolled up, looking cute as hell, bro. And she's like, oh, we were on the same tray. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's just adorable, bro. So, throughout the episode, right, they're just, vibing with each other. And you just morely get this whole thing from Rintaro's perspective as he starts to look at her more, right? And essentially what happens is they plan to go to this dolphin show, right? But essentially what happens is they end up actually getting they wanted to go get something to eat, right? So they go get something to eat because the show's about to start in at least in an hour or so. So they decided to go get something to eat, and that's when Karako, she's like, "Hey, can you tell me how your sports day went and everything?" And obviously, Rintaro's like, "Wait, you're sure?" And she's like, "Yeah, I want you to tell me all about it." Because remember, that was what she said. She did tell him like, "Hey, after your sports day, I would like you to tell me how it went and everything." So again, it just shows you like, no, she wants to know everything about this dude because she is in love with the guy. She actually cares about the guy because she knows, no, this is a nice guy, and I really like him, right? And it kind of takes Rintaro back because he's like, this girl really wants to know more about me, and he goes in and talks, you know about it, right? Which it was that was a great moment where he brings it up, right? I'm trying to find another moment. What is it? Oh yeah, she made a mention about I forgot what it was. She made a mention about sea lions, and Rintaro ended up laughing about it. So that was great. But then kind of the main thing was, well, there was this girl that was lost, right? And because Rintaro ended up going to the bathroom before they went to go to the dolphin show, and he's again still freaking out about this whole thing with his, but then he goes out and he sees that Karuko was with this girl who got lost. So they were looking around to try to find her parents, but eventually they do find her parents and everything, right? And you do have this conversation between the girl and Rintaro where, you know, it's it was a nice conversation, to say the least. Because the girl is like, "Hey, I'm sorry for like causing, you and your friend trouble, because, I know you probably want to spend time." And Rintro's like, "No, no, it's all good. You don't need to do it. We're waiting to make sure, um, we're waiting to make sure we find your parents." But the girl is obviously apologetic because she's like, "I'm messing up your guys' date." And it leads to a funny conversation because he's like, "What the heck?" And she's like, "Well, aren't you two a couple, right?" Um, and he's like, "No, no, 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 that's not it. We're definitely not a couple." And she's like, "Really?" Um, but essentially said, but the girl who she's like, "But a date sounds nice, right?" Now, essentially, it was funny, right? How this then transitions to the girl basically talking about a crush that she likes and saying like, "I like this boy named Daiki and he's so cool and everything." And essentially, this girl's in kindergarten, right? And basically, she has this admiration. She likes this dude a lot. So, that's the whole thing. And she actually does say like she loves Daiki. And she goes on to say like when she sees Daiki smile, it makes him happy. And this kind of makes it to where Rentro kind of takes it back at this comment because then he starts thinking about all the times that he's observed Wagari or Karako when he's been around her and how she's always smiled around him. And he starts to realize like that actually does make him happy too. So essentially what happens, they find Wagari went out and found the parents. Um, Again, the girl was like, "Hey, good luck, on your date, and I still do think you two are a couple." My man Rentro gets all flustered by that comment, again, but basically they go to the dolphin show because it's getting late at the aquarium, but they do have one more show time, and they actually go to the dolphin show. Surprisingly, I think the dolphins were not CGI dolphins, like they were just regular 2D dolphins. And essentially, Karuko's happy because she's like, "Wow, this looks way more impressive than it does on TV." So then that's when Rentaro, he just in his inner monologue, his inner self, he starts to realize, like, no, like, I actually am in love with Karuko because, he's never met somebody that's made him feel this way, never met somebody that's made him feel happy. And if anything, he does make a mention like he's happy to be around her. And this is when he actually realizes, like, he likes her more than just as a friend. He likes her, in layman's terms, he's in love with her. This is the show. This is the episode where basically he realizes that he's in love with Karako, and he can't, move away and let go of these strong feelings he has for her, because he wants to have these moments, and continue to have these moments with her because that's how much he has feelings for her. So it was another great episode. The visuals of the date was beautiful. And I definitely can't wait to see what episode 9 has to offer. There was credits. There was like a little like manga like credit type of thing, right? Which it kind of showed some of the stuff from the manga. Like you get some manga panels, which was pretty dope that they added that into the ending of the episode. But yeah, but regardless, this is again a great show. I continue to love this show. So I wonder if in episode 9 at some point maybe things are going to start to pick up. Maybe his friends are gonna like, "Hey, do you like this Karako girl or whatever?" It definitely looks like, it sounds like, it definitely feels like, with the fact that we got only a few more episodes left of the show, more than likely the last episode of season 1, because I do think this show's going to get a season 2. I'm more than likely guessing the final episode, or the second to last episode, before the final episode of season one, will be when Rintaro finally confesses to Karuko and says that he doesn't like her. He loves her, and maybe that's when will be the start of them starting to go out and officially being a couple with each other. So we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. But again, if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts. Hit that subscribe button if you want to get more. Yeah, if you want to get more Fragrant Flower Blooms of Dignity content or any other anime content I upload to the channel, and stuff like that. My friend actually did come over, so expect, because I play the games in the Zone Zero, expect like character demos and trailers, and then even like special programs for like live streams for future updates of the game. Expect those reactions with face cam and stuff like that going forward. So yeah, but if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, hit that subscribe button if you want to get more content and things like that. But I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Catch you guys in the next video, and I will probably see you guys, well, I'm being recording this on Sunday evening, so probably late afternoon. Expect the dawn episode review, or a Sakamoto Days, probably both actually. So I'll see you guys probably later today for one of those reviews and things like that, if I manage to get that out on time. But anyways, till then, guys, peace.